Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. Joining me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hi.
Hello.
Uh, and also joining me is the Lord of Not Your Turn, Some Dumb American. Hi, SDA. This is your cue, Monkey.
Hi.
There we go. And I am your host, Scribe, the Lord of Sleep. Or actually the lack thereof, because, man, I did not sleep well last night. I tried coming home early from work to get a little bit of a nap in, didn't really get a nap so much as dozed, and so I'm kind of running on fumes. So if I seem a little punchy tonight, or punch drunk, that might be the reason. But that aside, how are you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah. Hi, chat. How you doing? So chat, before the stream even began, I had a donation from Point Curation. So Point, thank you very much. Point asked for an interesting ad. It wasn't an item. It wasn't even a movie trailer so much. It was a concept. So he wanted an ad for asserting moral autonomy.
You also is going to give Scribe a brain tumor.
Well, at least I had the advantage of he posted this before the stream, so I had time to think of something. So here's the ad. I tried to make a point. I hope you appreciate. I had to stretch my brain a little bit to make this concise and coherent, but here we go. Read the new book by L. Ron Curation, Asserting Moral Autonomy. With this revolutionary book, you will learn what it means to establish your own sense of right and wrong, absent an entity or holy book. Of course, if you've just realized the contradiction in buying our book to help you find a moral center, then you're already on your way. Don't buy Asserting Moral Autonomy by L. Ron Curation. Believe what you will, but first, believe in yourself.
Yay.
There you go.
Yay.
I hope that was adequate.
That was a reference to scientist.
Yeah, scientist.
Yeah, scientist. It was a reference. It was a takeoff on Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
Those
I
ads
caught
played,
the reference. I'm
I know.
smart. God damn it.
Those things. Oh God, those ads played so many times when I was a kid.
All the time. Yeah.
Sanguine, thank you. To Give You Time, Stone Age political thriller. Didn't I just? No, I did Iron. Now you see, and here's the thing. I was so fucked up the other day. He said Iron Age spy movie, but I did a Stone Age spy movie.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you were doing it.
Yeah, I
forgot when the Iron Age was.
Yeah, I had a complete brain freeze. So consequently,
Well,
yeah.
At the beginning, you said you weren't real sure, so I just figured you were.
Yeah, that's true. And
Iron Age was.
Yeah, I had.
Well, I just figured you would at least know that it came after the Bronze Age.
Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, so I screwed that up. So Sanguine, if you want me to do a Stone Age one rather than an Iron Age one, I will do that. If you want me to do the Iron Age one to try to make up for my mistake the last time, just let me know. But I will see what I can do. Other than that, do we have anything else prior to going to the schnews? Oh, thank you, Point. Thanks, Scribe. For anyone interested in why I picked that phrase, check out the book by Christopher R. Browning, Ordinary Men. Okay, thank you, Point.
Cool.
Okay, so let me write down your movie thriller thing, Sanguine. Depending on timing, it may either be tonight or tomorrow when you get that, because those always take me extra time. All right, well, a lot happened today, and in a relatively short order. So I'm going to go from the chronologically speaking as these stories occurred. And as the title of the stream might indicate, it has been a tumultuous day for the White House and politics in general. So first we have John McCain's maverick moment. Shortly before Senator John McCain entered the Senate chamber in the wee hours of Friday morning, reporters wanted to know how he'd vote. He instructed them to, quote, watch the show. McCain killed his party's narrowly crafted Obamacare repeal bill Friday, not because he was opposed to dismantling the Affordable Care Act, but because he fundamentally believed the process the lack of hearings, the one-party closed-door negotiations, the fact that in the end, all that Republican senators could agree upon was a shell of the plan they promised, was flawed. It was a result that may have been hinted at earlier in the week. Less than 2 weeks after surgery to remove a blood clot revealed McCain had brain cancer, the Arizona Republican, still with a visible scar above his eye, traveled 2,000 miles from Phoenix and returned to a hero's welcome Tuesday in the Senate, where he delivered an epic 15-minute speech that rattled the conscience of the body. Quote, we're getting nothing done, my friends, McCain told his colleagues. We're getting nothing done. It was a fiery and intense lecture on the shortcomings of bypassing regular order and turning your back on compromise. But moments earlier, McCain had delivered a decisive vote to advance a healthcare bill that was still an uncertain product at that point, a kind of blessing for the type of secretive negotiations he'd just decried. McCain's office announced Friday that he is planning to return to Arizona to start cancer treatment Monday. Friday morning, just before 2 a.m. Eastern, he delivered the fateful vote in the other direction. For over an hour, leadership tried to change his mind on the Senate floor on the skinny repeal bill. His junior colleague, Arizona Senator Jeff Flake, appeared to be dispatched to talk to him out of it. And when that didn't work, Vice President Mike Pence swooped in. Even President Donald Trump called to try a final Hail Mary to sway McCain. And then, there's video. It's really interesting because he walks up and he just kind of stands right next to the guy tallying the votes. And he just says, no. And you hear these gasps in the House. And people going like, because all the Democrats are like, what? And so it failed 51-49. So essentially the process or the attempt to repeal Obamacare is dead. It'll be a miracle if it ever comes up again in the next couple of years at least. And it's all McCain's fault.
I'm really curious why they need so many negotiations for a repeal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always assume, maybe I'm just stupid, but I always assumed that they would repeal it and then replace it and not try to repeal and replace it in the same bill. So I don't know why this is so complicated.
Falcon Millennial, thank you. The guys in the hangar at work laugh so much now it makes work a little more enjoyable. Management now wants to know why we're laughing so much. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Thank you, Falcon.
Tell them to mind their own fucking business.
Monkey.
Get back to work. God damn it. There are planes that need to be repaired or built or whatever it is you do over there.
Oh, I meant management. Tell them to mind their own business.
I thought you meant the coworkers. Okay.
No, if they're laughing at us, let them laugh.
Oh, okay. I thought this just was supposed to be Falcon's private show. Okay. That works too. But yeah, it's like every step of the way now they've pulled back. Like they were going to do the grand repeal and replace, then that failed. Well, then we're just going to repeal it, and that failed. Well, we're just going to repeal parts of it, and that failed. It's like winnowing down to nothing. And like we've always said, and it's a broken record, but they had 8+ years to come up with a better idea. And all credit to John McCain. He stood by his principles. He said, this isn't the way to do it, and this doesn't help anything. So poof.
Well, I'm really worried maybe this is sounding paranoid. Maybe I'm listening to too many Republicans, but I'm kind of worried that the idea in the first place was to push us towards single payer anyway. And
it was.
Yeah.
I'm worried I'm so worried that's actually going to happen. Like that is the last thing that I want to happen.
It's unlikely that'll happen anytime in the near future. W.R. Costin, thank you very much. Hello, evil primates and other evilly ranting beings. Evil primates, evilly ranting beings. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
1429.
That is an odd amount. Does that mean something? Falcon Millennial, thank you. We build crop dusters. We'll tell them to fuck off. Jesus.
Shit.
Oh, man.
We're going to be getting an angry email from somebody.
I know, right? Oh, man. It's gonna be a reverse Kraut versus Rage. They're trying to get us hired or something. If Obama had come out originally, way back when, if he had pushed for single payer, we wouldn't have gotten single payer. But we would have gotten something much different than we have now, because he didn't. If he had shot for the moon, so to speak, he would have gotten something less. But since he just was so milquetoast about it, and he left it to the Congress to deal with and everything else, we got the Affordable Care Act. So
he could have gotten single payer. He could have.
Not with the resistance the Republicans were giving. I don't think so.
There was nothing they could have done. Literally nothing they could have done to stop it.
Well, then how? Well, yeah, right. No, sorry. Even the Democrats
were a filibuster-proof majority in the Senate. They had the House. They had the presidency.
And they still did not pass what Obama wanted in the beginning. And by the time they got around to it,
the reason they didn't was because they were such pussies about it. Let's be honest. What you're talking about is political versus what was reality. Mm-hmm. They could have done it.
Yes, they could have, but they would not have. Even the Democratic Party at that time was not so unified that they would have all said yes to single payer. There was too much potential backlash in the midterms. Single payer would not have flown any more than what was proposed originally did.
But getting rid of it would have. I mean, as if we'd have been able to get rid of it.
Get rid of what?
Single payer. Once they did it, I mean, we would have been stuck with it.
Yeah,
well, probably.
So it wouldn't have it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think again, I am against all of this government interference with medicine. They should have. I have no problem with the pre-existing condition thing, as long as everybody understands that means everybody who has insurance is going to get a rate hike. But most of what they did is just fucking retarded stuff that didn't need to be done. Like, for instance, healthcare plans for gay men have to cover maternity care. Good job. Yeah, menopausal women, make sure you get that birth control you need so much.
Yeah.
But they should have just done a single payer. This was absolutely designed to fail. They let the insurance companies design it for one thing, and yeah.
Well, it's incredible just how much more money like we pay now than we did before.
No, it's affordable.
It's not like it is the opposite of affordable.
It's affordable. I was told that.
Yeah, well, babe, somebody fucking lied to you.
I think I'd had another brain freeze. W.R. Costin, did you mean for your ad to be about evil primates and evilly ranting beings? Did I maybe?
Oh, that's what I took it to mean.
No, okay. I guess I just.
I'm confused about the 1429 thing.
Yeah, I am.
It would make more sense if you had given him 1488.
Unless it's like the exchange rate, it means something, like it evens out to something in American dollars or something.
All right, I'll look it up. What is it? Canadian dollar.
Yeah. Okay. WR, unless I hear otherwise, I'll take that to mean that's the ad you're looking for, and I will see
1429.
Yes.
$11.49 in US dollars.
Okay.
So it means nothing.
Well, unless it means something like 1492, the Columbus sailed the ocean blue or something, but.
No, but it's not the same thing.
I know, but like I say, I don't know. Maybe it does mean something. I just don't know what it is. Okay, evil primates. God, the first thing I think of is the Wicked Witch of the West and her flying monkeys. Okay. Well, anyway, so that was the first big shakeup and sort of torpedo at the White House today. But then, shortly before stream time, so if you guys, we kind of covered this yesterday-ish about Scaramucci, the new communications director at the White House. Amongst several things that he talked about in his little interview was the fact that he didn't like Reince Priebus, the White House chief of staff. He cited him as a rival and thought he was plotting against him. Well, he says that comes out yesterday. And then what happens today? Oh, Reince Priebus is out as chief of staff and John Kelly is in at the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. President Donald Trump drove out his chief of staff on Friday, replacing Reince Priebus with Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly in an explosive move that ends a turbulent 6-month tenure. Quote, the president wanted to go a different direction, Priebus told CNN's Wolf Blitzer on The Situation Room. A president has a right to hit a reset button. I think it's a good time to hit the reset button. I think he was right to hit the reset button. Jesus.
Did he say reset button again?
Yeah, I know. Could you say that a few more times? I haven't thought of Nintendo enough tonight. I'm always going to be a Trump fan, Priebus said. I'm on Team Trump, and I look forward to helping him achieve his goals and agenda for the American people. In his interview with CNN, Priebus repeatedly said he submitted his resignation to the president privately on Thursday. Yet throughout the day on Friday, sources close to him insisted that he was not resigning. But around 5 p.m. Eastern time, Trump made the announcement on Twitter, of course he did, just after landing on Air Force One at Joint Base. Awkward. Okay. Joint Base Andrews outside Washington. Quote, I am pleased to inform you that I have just named General/Secretary John F. Kelly as White House Chief of Staff. He is a great American and a great leader. John has also done a spectacular job at Homeland Security. He has been a true star of my administration for 6 months. It wasn't until after the president named Kelly as his new chief of staff on Friday afternoon that sources close to Priebus reached out to reporters to say that he had resigned the day before. Other White House officials questioned that version of events, suggesting Priebus and his allies were trying to put a positive spin on the president's abrupt decision to bring on Kelly. The move followed months of on-again, off-again speculation that Priebus would soon be ousted from an administration where he has consistently drawn heavy criticism for failing to stem the flow of leaks and struggled to impose a sense of order in the chaotic White House beset by controversies. And that's the gist of the story.
Yeah.
So you get rid of Spicer. It just spring cleaning 6 months into the administration practically.
Yeah, it is a little early for such a major sweep. I mean, chief of staff is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Communication director, I can see that, but this is Trump running things like a business. It's not how government works, but.
Well, we had Comey. Who else? I know there's others that I'm forgetting now. We've had so many, but Comey was the first big one. And now rumblings are that he's going to kick out Jeff Sessions already.
Yeah, he got pissed at Sessions for something, and I don't remember what.
I think it was because he recused himself from the Russia investigation. At least that was the rumor, I guess, is that he took himself off the table for that. And I think that's why Trump wanted him there or something, to have a friend on that whole thing, or that's the implication, I should say, is that he's upset because Sessions removed himself from the board. Anyway, it's I guess the big question is, are we surprised by any of this fundamentally, given who the president is?
No.
Not really.
Yeah, I can't say so either, because like I say, he wasn't a politician. He's never held office. He's a businessman. He's, like Monkey said, he's operating it like, okay, somebody's not performing in their job. I got to replace them. And of course, this is the presidency, so it better quick than slow.
Yeah. In previous years, I just don't think there was obvious, clashes in the White House. I remember during Clinton's term that this was all they talked about, but you still kept him on for appearances, at least a year or two. And then suddenly they would need a new job. But 6 months in, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, usually if you're going to change people around, you do it either after a midterm or something, where it's like, oh, well, now that the sea changes happen, now it's time to sort of reassess things. Or you do it during the holiday season when nobody's paying attention anyway. That's usually around the time you do it. So yeah, I'm surprised that these guys weren't given at least a year. The Comey thing is still weird that he kept him on for the whole reasons that he gave that he fired him, but that's a whole old story now. Let's see what else we have. Yes. Well, we have a couple of missile stories. SDAs. Well, we'll kind of do potpourri early, just because for the heck of it. These are global stories, but they're all. Let's see. Do you want North Korea or do you want Iran?
Ooh.
I know, right?
Chubby babies.
I assume you mean Iran, because North Korea is all skeletal people.
No. I meant fine, one chubby baby.
Oh, okay, that's better.
No, I would have said goat. No, Iran is goat fuckers.
Jesus.
The goat fuckers.
All right, so North Korea, second ICBM test puts much of U.S. in range, says experts. North Korea on Friday test-fired its second intercontinental ballistic missile, which flew longer and higher than the first, according to its wary neighbors, leading analysts to conclude that a wide swath of the U.S., including Los Angeles and Chicago, is now within range of Pyongyang's weapons. Chicago, that's really far inland.
Yeah, it is.
That's Midwest. I mean, that's shit. Japanese government spokesman Yoshida Suga said the missile launched late Friday night flew for about 45 minutes, about 5 minutes longer than the ICBM North Korea test fired on July 4th. The missile was launched on a very high trajectory, which limited the distance it traveled and landed west of Japan's island of Hokkaido. Quote, "We assessed that this missile was an intercontinental ballistic missile, as has been expected," Pentagon spokesman Navy Captain Jeff Davis said in Washington. Analysts had estimated that the North's first ICBM could have reached Alaska and said Friday that the latest missile appeared to extend that range significantly. David Wright, a physicist and co-director of the Global Security Program at the Union of Concerned Scientists, said in Washington that if reports of the missile's maximum altitude and flight time are correct, it would have a theoretical range of at least 10,400 kilometers or 6,500 miles. That means it could have reached Los Angeles, Denver, or Chicago, depending on variables such as the size and weight of the warhead that would have been carried atop such a missile in an actual attack. Bruce Klinger, a Korean and Japanese affairs specialist. It's funny to hear that somebody named Klinger is associated with Korea at all, but
yeah, no shit.
That's just me. Specialist at the Heritage Foundation think tank in Washington said, quote, "It now appears that a significant portion of the continental United States is within range of North Korean missiles." President Donald Trump issued a statement condemning the missile test as a threat to the world and rejecting North Korea's claim that nuclear weapons ensure its security. Quote, "In reality, they have the opposite effect," he said. Let's see.
Yeah, just ask the Branch Davidians how that works out.
Oh, God.
Hey, guys, I really don't feel good, so I'm going to go.
Okay, SD, go rest and feel better.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
All right. Let's see. Okay, so guys, chat, just to let you know, with SDA gone, I'm going to have to curtail ads for tonight. I'm certainly appreciative of any donations you want to send, but there's not going to be time for me to sort of write ads and also converse with Monkey. So now, if you really want an ad, I will take down notes and I'll see what I can do between now and tomorrow night. But I can't promise that I'll be able to do anything tonight, just to let you know.
Real quick, we had a couple of super chats here.
Oh, we did, yes. Sorry.
Thank you. SDA, it's goat sexuals. And Corey, who is a guy, says, you guys should come to Connecticut now.
Do a live stream from Connecticut?
I think because North Korea can't reach there.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yet.
Yet.
Let's see, was there anything else to that story? Let's see. One last note. The U.S. and South Korea conducted joint live fire exercises soon after the ICBM test. The U.S. 8th Army said Saturday's training event utilizing the Army Tactical Missile System and South Korea's Hyunmoo Missile 2 was conducted to demonstrate their precision firing capability and exercise assets countering North Korea's missile launch. This just keeps getting closer and closer to the line.
Well, did you see there was a CNN headline apparently that South Korea has a plan to kill Kim Jong-un?
Oh, I hadn't seen that, but I'm not surprised. Zenith, thank you. I must have made SDA sick by talking to her. Yes, it's your fault, Zenith. We all blame you.
Does that not seem like some really shitty reporting with everything that's going on? I don't there's no good option here. You know, I mean, this if you make this guy feel like he's backed into a corner, that his death is imminent, and we already know he's fucking insane, all you're doing is hastening something awful happening. Now, something awful is going to happen anyway. I mean, at this point, I don't even think it's a question mark. Short of him dying of natural causes, but even then, there'll be a conspiracy theory that he was assassinated anyway. Short of that, something's going to give.
somebody, either the nutsos are going to take over, or, and this isn't even a good option, but it might be a time saver. If someone with some sense gets people together and stages a coup. That's the only thing I could think happening that wouldn't immediately end in disaster. It would have to happen from within, and it would have to happen from people that already hold some kind of power otherwise. But even then, it's so weighted in favor of one individual and one family that I don't even know if that would work. But that's the only scenario I can think of that wouldn't be an immediate like clusterfuck.
Well, even with a coup, there's the chance that somebody worse is going to get in, somebody who thinks he's being too pussy about it.
Like I said, it would buy time. That's about it, because somebody coming in would want to, I mean, if someone was going to take over, it's because they would want to have something different than what they have now and presumably try to legitimize themselves to other countries and try to fix things. Even if they are a dictator, at least for a time, they'd probably be a more communicative one. So, like I said, and again, we're talking about I hate using the word, but we're talking about a spectrum of bad scenarios. And that one is the only one I can think of that is the least horrific on the spectrum at this stage of the game. But in any case, in other horrible spacefaring news, Western nations decry Iran space launch. U.S. levies sanctions. The United States punished Iran on Friday for launching a satellite-carrying rocket into space by hitting 6 Iranian entities with sanctions targeting the country's ballistic missiles program. 3 European nations that helped broker the landmark Iran nuclear deal in 2015 joined the U.S. in condemning the launch and said it was too close for comfort to the type of intercontinental ballistic missiles used to deliver a nuclear payload. At the United Nations, U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley said Iran was breaking its obligation and added, "We can't trust them." Oh, okay. Well, they're not giving themselves much room to maneuver there. Under this administration, the United States will not let Iran off the hook for behavior that threatens our interests and our allies, Haley said. We will continue to impose consequences until Iran stops its provocations and complies fully with Security Council resolutions. Yeah, and then it just goes on to a whole bunch of historical stuff. Again, you want to talk about like the worst possible saber rattling you could do at this stage of the game.
Well, what's the downside at this point of saber rattling?
I don't know.
There's not one at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, sanctioning Iran. It's not as dire, but it is pretty much similar to North Korea. It's like, what are you going to do that's worse than what we have? Man. See, and having Trump at the wheel during all of this. Oh man. I'm just scared he's going to unleash some tweet at some point that's going to cause World War III to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd be the one to tweet out, "By the way, I just pressed the button."
Yeah.
Oh man.
He'd be like, "LOL, I pressed the button. # goodbye."
Yeah.
Oh man. Let's see. Necroman98 says Iran is 10 times better than North Korea, Scribe Light. Well, 10 times better than awful is still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ranting Monkey, did you just upload a video during the stream, Zenith asks?
I did, but it was for a good reason, which I will explain at YouTube time.
You two-timing whore.
You knew I was doing it, bitch.
I knew you were finishing a video. No, I knew you were finishing a video. I didn't know that you were actually uploading it. I thought you were just like creating it.
No. I was finishing it to get it out.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it in a little bit.
Talk about it then.
All right. Okay. And the only other news, because why not end on some sad news before we get to MSS news, which will hopefully be more uplifting. And I misspoke the other day when I said that the Charlie Gard had passed away, because today he passed away. I had misread the story, or I misunderstood what was going on. But yeah, so today he passed away when life support was withdrawn. Apparently 1 week before his first birthday, to add even more insult to injury. Yeah. I don't know that there's much more to say about the story. We've talked about it at length.
Yeah.
It's tragic all around. You've got all these people thinking that they're doing the right thing, and probably just, I mean, it could have been the case that nothing would have helped anyway, but they wasted time arguing over it and not letting the parents do what they thought was best for their child. Which, yeah, I mean, you don't want to talk about the potential downsides of a governmental healthcare system. That's one of them.
The best part of that story you just were relaying is that in the background you can hear my wife laughing.
Yeah, I heard that. I tried to talk over it because I thought that was inappropriate.
It was inappropriate. She's reading Trapped.
That's what we should call our chat to separate it from any other stream's chat. It's Trapped. Hey, Trapped.
Sorry. She was actually apparently laughing about this story because you said Charlie died, and Skeptalk in chat put again. So, yeah, no, funny.
That's my fault.
It was funny. It was funny.
Yeah. When I make mistakes, boy, I make mistakes on here.
That's all humor in the side, not with goofball back here laughing her ass off. Because it sounds like she's laughing at Charlie dying to anybody who's not watching this live.
Yeah. Oh boy. Let's see. Okay, well, I guess we'll move on to MSS News.
MSS News, guys.
Hashtag MSS News.
If you have stories you'd like us to take a look at, we won't guarantee we'll get to all of them or that we'll even find them all interesting, but hit us up at hashtag MSS News and we'll see what we can do. Okay. And again, thank you guys so much for sending those stories in. It really does help.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really appreciative that you guys care enough to send us stories. I mean, even if we get to them or not, just to have something interesting, because God knows in the time I've got in my day, I don't have the ability to look for such interesting nuggets as you guys come up with. Okay, first one we'll do comes from Skeptalk. Speak of the devil.
Hey.
Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Man forgets kilo of gold under tree in Berlin as he locks up his bike.
Was this Nazi gold?
I don't know. But I'm also wondering, was this man a leprechaun?
Could be, but not in. Where was he in Berlin now?
Well, you could have an Irishman in Berlin or German leprechaun. I mean, there's short German people.
No smart Irishmen are hanging out in Berlin.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see what happens. A rather forgetful Berliner, which I always was told was actually the name of a jelly donut.
No, ein Berliner.
Ich bin ein Berliner. Had a slice of luck on Thursday. A very honest person found several bars of gold and a huge wad of cash that he had forgotten under a tree. Holy cow. The owner told police that he put the money and gold down as he was locking up his bicycle and had then simply forgotten about his valuables.
What's around with that?
This guy, somewhat later. Do you mean sometime later? Okay, maybe this is just bad translation. Anyways, I'll read it as it's written. Somewhat later, a passerby spotted a folder under a tree near a bank branch and was surprised to find 22 gold bars and 3,500 euros in cash inside. The honest person immediately brought the find to the police. Well, good for them. Alongside the money and the gold, there was also personal items in the folder, which allowed the police to quickly track down the owner, who dropped by the station later in the day. The finder of the gold won't go away empty-handed, though. In Germany, people who find lost items have a legal right to between 3 and 5% of its worth.
Oh.
Wow. With the value of a kilogram of gold currently lying at around 35,000 euros, the lucky finder could earn close to 2,000 euros. Jeez.
I'm curious. How many gold bars?
22.
In a folder?
22 of varying sizes. I'll send the link to the story. There's actually a picture in a tweet they posted here that shows.
So these aren't like gold bars we think of from.
No, these are like those little hand-sized ones. I mean, they have dollar bills next to them for size. So these could fit in the palm of your hand or smaller, basically.
That motherfucker never would have seen them again. Oh, those gold bars. I see what you're talking about.
Sanguine, thank you very much. What kind of folder can hold 22 gold bars? It might have been one of those accordion folders. You know?
Yeah.
One of those
He's
business.
Lucky that nice dude found it because my ass would be in Aruba.
Super lucky. Also, I I didn't know that it paid so well to be an honest person in Germany. But that
does pay well.
If only that were the case here, we'd have a lot more do-gooders, maybe.
Maybe that's how they found all that Jew gold. I'm just saying.
No, you could be right. If you find valuables that aren't yours, turn them in. Oh God. Okay. This one comes from staff reporter Colleen Bernier, and the headline is amazing, as always. Naked woman having orgasm plunges from balcony during threesome from hell, then lover breaks bones trying to help.
Oh.
The male participant. Okay, this is the sub headline.
Pictures. I want to see this.
There's pictures of an ambulance and a helicopter shot of the hotel. There's nothing.
Boo.
Sorry. The male participant told cops that during lovemaking, there was a positional quarrel with one of the ladies leaning against a balcony. A threesome from hell led to a woman falling off a balcony while having an orgasm and another toppling down some stairs. Both women suffered broken bones after the romp rapidly went wrong. Wow, good job on the alliteration there, Mirror. Following a positional quarrel. The first woman suffered broken bones in her feet and legs after she plunged 10 feet from a balcony as she reached her climax. Her naked friend screamed and ran down the stairs to help her, slipped, and snapped bones in her arm and neck. Medics arrived at the apartment in Bad Briesig, Germany, I'm probably mispronouncing that, where the embarrassed man explained what had occurred. Police said the female victims of the sex game gone wrong were both naked.
Yeah, that's a convenient excuse. She fell down the stairs. I've heard that before.
So cops added that the man in the threesome told them that, quote, during the lovemaking, there was a positional quarrel with one of the ladies leaning against a balcony railing, which led to her plunge. A local newspaper commented on the incident, quote, they better try bondage next time. Because at least to be restrained. Yeah.
I don't understand what the positional quarrel would have to do. Did the quarrel bring her to orgasm?
I can imagine several scenarios, but I couldn't possibly say for sure how that went down or who went down on what.
They're making it sound like they were arguing over the position.
Okay, here's a guess.
Okay.
She was leaned against the balcony. Okay. So presumably, if we assume that she had her back to the balcony, then
fair enough, yeah.
Okay, then maybe we had Guy. So she was like, maybe she was like sort of leaned up against the balcony with her legs kind of up, and he was trying to do it standing up while the other girl was underneath doing some tongue butter action. Yeah. And then the logistics of it got complicated, and then somebody moved the wrong way and she fell off, and then the other ones ran after her and fell down.
Well, and I would get that, but I don't understand where the orgasm part comes in as an important factor here.
Well, if she was like, maybe the quarrel was between him and the girl who wasn't being pleasured.
Bitch, get up. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I don't know.
It's my turn. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Well,
oh, it's her turn. That's what happened. He dropped her ass.
It's like, hell with this.
Beat the other one so she'd fall down the stairs.
Oh, okay. I promise I'm not going to give. I'm going to try to find other people's stories too, but this one I can't pass up because this is monkey. This has monkey written all over it.
Sweet.
Not literally. This also comes from Colleen Bernier. A baby takes home midget wrestling championship.
What?
Atlantic City. Amid the chaos of the final bout, one wrestler stood taller than the rest to take home the title of Atlantic City's midget wrestling champion. Baby Jesus, standing at 3'6" and 100 pounds, pinned too tall during the Royal Rumble to cap off a successful second annual knee-high knuckle buster midget wrestling championship.
Nice.
More than 600 excited and boisterous wrestling fans packed Ducktown's Tavern outdoor back duck arena to watch 6 pint-sized warriors battle it out for the belt. In the single matches, fan favorite and reigning champion Little Mario defeated Too Tall, Little Miss took down Flyin' Ryan, and E-Money bested Baby Jesus. Standing nearly 7 feet tall and close to 300 pounds, former WWF wrestler Gene Snitsky towered over the wrestlers as he tried to keep the peace as referee. Before the matches started, 6 non-professional eaters participated in a hot dog eating contest, with the winner taking home $100. For show producer John Henderson of Good Time Tricycle Productions, the event was just another unique way to get people excited and bring them into the city. Henderson believes that the level of uniqueness adds to curiosity. Discover something new and have a blast, he says. You want me to send you the pictures, or do you have them already?
Oh, no, sure. You can send those.
All right, I'll post it to the, Snitsky. Yeah, your boy Pat says Snitsky. Yeah, I've never heard of him unless he's got a stage name that I'm not aware of. But yeah, whoever he is, he's really tall. 7 feet tall, 300 pounds. Gene Snitsky, Snitsky. And it says former WWF wrestler, so maybe this was old school before WWE was the new brand name.
Why does that guy call himself Baby Jesus when he's all white?
Oh my God, you're right.
I have never heard of a white person named Jesus.
Oh my God.
Not since the Bible, at least.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, this is ironic, sad, tragic, but also kind of weird. This comes from Eric the Driver. Husband charged with killing wife on Alaska cruise ship during murder mystery dinner.
That sounds like the plot of a cheesy TV show.
I think that has been the plot of at least 5 Murder, She Wrote episodes. I could be mistaken. It might be 4, not 5. But anyway, a man has been charged with killing his wife on board an Alaskan cruise ship Tuesday night while passengers were enjoying a murder mystery-themed dinner. According to FBI court documents, Kenneth Manzanares was charged with murder after he was found with blood on his hands and clothes, and with blood spread throughout the cabin on the Princess Cruises ship Tuesday night. I suppose he was then caught red-handed. Christy Manzanares, 39, and I got to say, that was a fine-looking woman.
Well, give me a picture.
I'll send the link out. Hold on. Well, man, that's. Hey.
I wouldn't talk about fine women without showing you. I'm just saying.
I know. I was pausing because I was just kind of admiring.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she is very pretty. Was very pretty. Christy Manzanares, 39, was found with a severe head wound and was pronounced dead at the scene. A severe head wound. What, did he stab her in the skull? Hey. A passenger told Alaska's KTVA that he and his wife were in their cabin when he heard screaming. Quote, "It was evening for us. I had turned in and my wife was taking a shower and I heard terrible screaming. I mean, you knew it wasn't normal. And it sounded like 2 or 3 ladies or girls, definitely women screaming." Okay. Roland said his wife went out and looked over the balcony and saw a man covered in blood. My wife's a registered nurse. She thought he was going to jump over the rail. And at one point he put his hand on the rail and set his rear on it. But she started yelling, "Get back in." And the ship announced, "Get a security team to that area." One of the little girls from that room came running out. Oh, wait. No, I skipped a line. That scared me for a second. Speaking with CBS News, passenger Chris Seaman said he was across the hall from where the killing happened. Oh, there was a little girl in the room? What? Oh, no. One of the little girls from that room came running out, calling for help that her parents had been in a fight. Oh, no.
Oh, so he didn't even try to, hide it.
No, he just...
You stupid bastard.
According to court documents, several people went to the room before first responders arrived and saw the man in the room and his wife on the floor covered in blood. A man asked the suspect what had happened and, according to the documents, responded, quote, "She would not stop laughing at me." Jesus. Good God. I don't even know. Let's find a funny story. Let's find a funny story. Something.
He's going to end up getting
here we go.
In prison.
So staff reporter Jack Cochran gives us a Florida man story. This will cheer us up a little bit before we get on to YouTube stuffs. Actually, we might. You want to go to the top of the hour with the news since SDA is not here?
Yeah, we're down a man, so
Sure.
don't tell her I
you
called her a man.
sexist. Oh no, I'm not gonna. Oh no, I'm not gonna read this after that story. This is no. It is a Florida man story. It's not a funny one. I'll just read the headline, and that'll be enough. Florida man accused of setting pregnant girlfriend on fire.
Oh, that's not cool at all.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. Okay, let's move on to
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, well. Oh, Jack Cochran. Oh, okay, here we go. This ought to be informative. This comes from the Jack Cochran. This might actually be one of those articles that you want to do a video on.
Ooh.
This comes from Broadly, which is apparently some subsidiary of Vice.
Of course.
Again, Jack Cochran sent us this. The headline reads, "Humans could go extinct thanks to men."
Oh, I saw the headline for this. I haven't read it yet, though.
All right, well, here we go. According to new research, plummeting sperm counts could result in human annihilation. We asked men how guilty they feel about potentially wiping out the species. This story is by Sirin Kale. Sirinka, or I think it's, no, wait, Sirln? Sirlin? I can't, this font is funky. No, it's, okay, Sirin, okay. All right. Anyway, I'd never heard of her before. All right, finally, some good news in our fucked up news cycle. Oh boy, this is professional. We're heading for the extinction of the human race. New research published in Human Reproduction Update has found that our species could become extinct if male sperm counts continue to fall at current rates, and that men from North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand are to blame. Researchers assessed the metadata of nearly 200 studies into sperm counts from around the world. They found that men from these regions Vice, you must be working for CNN. I'm going to read it as it's written. They found that men from these regions seen their sperm quality deteriorate rapidly in the last 40 years. Not have seen, just seen. Men from these regions saw a 52% decline in sperm concentration and a 59% decline in sperm count. I wonder if it might be feminism that's to blame.
I think it is.
I will expound on that theory shortly. But anyway, by comparison, no similar decline was seen in South America, Asia, or Africa, although it's worth pointing out that fewer studies have been conducted in those parts of the world. Yeah, it is worth pointing that out. It is really worth pointing that out. I'm glad you did, sort of. Speaking to the BBC, lead researcher Dr. Haggai Levine expressed alarm that the human race might become extinct if the trend continued. Quote, if we will not change the ways that we are living and the environment and the chemicals we are exposed to, I am very worried about what will happen in the future. But how do Western men feel about being responsible for the extinction of the human race? Is it just another thing to add to their list of sins, like police brutality and the Emoji Movie? Wow. Okay, here we go. Now we get into it. There was only one thing to do. Ask some heterosexual men from North America and Europe, but where to find them?
Find them?
Yeah, exactly. Where to find them? After much research, I managed to track some down. Only joking, the Vice UK office is full of straight white men. You can't move for them.
They're believe everywhere. That. No. I've read Vice. That's not true. Straight. I don't believe.
Oh, by the way, thank you, Point Curation. Maybe he wrestled pandas if he was from the WWF. Very good. Yeah, I was always confused when I was a kid because I'd see those stickers on things, the panda sticker for the World Wildlife Federation. I thought, how do they both have the same initials? And eventually that caught up with them in the Wildlife Federation. Yeah, it's all my fault. Yeah, I asked that question, and then eventually, like 15, 20 years later, it finally came to a head, and the Wrestling Federation lost out because
they made that change. I had never, ever met anyone who was confused by that, but it was you.
No.
It was you.
No, I wasn't confused. I was curious as to why two things could have the same name, essentially. That's all. I didn't think the WWF was also the WWF.
Uh-huh.
It's true.
Nice try to say.
It's not a say. Anyway, Moving on.
What do we got going on?
Okay, so
She was talking to males.
Yeah, she's talking to the straight white males in the Vice UK office. And there was no awkwardness about me cornering my male coworkers, coffee in hand, on a Wednesday morning to ask about their sperm motility. Everyone was extremely chill and receptive to my journalistic request, probably because if they said anything else, you'd slap them with a sexual harassment charge.
Yeah, no shit.
Quote, I think my sperm are perfectly fine, thanks, blushes my colleague Harry, pastry and iced coffee in hand. I don't want to know anything. Okay. Quote, I'm deeply sorry for my role in the imminent extinction of the human race, Vice.com editor Jamie responds. They're not certain of why sperm counts are decreasing yet, are they? But assuming it has something to do with poor diet, smoking, and a huge lack of exercise, I do not feel great about my own sperm count right now in any way.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's all about.
I can't tell if that guy was being sarcastic or if he's actually that much wallowing in self-pity at that point.
And that's a sad fact about our society. But real quick, thank you, Falcon Millennial. Fun fact. All pandas are owned by China.
Are they?
Apparently.
So like if I see a panda at the zoo, technically it's on loan from China.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
They're slaves. We need to break them free.
Well, what about purple panda from the, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
What about sexual harassment panda?
Oh, is that one of the Care Bear cousins we don't talk about?
Oh, haven't you seen that episode of South Park?
No.
Yeah, the sexual harassment panda comes in and teaches the kids all about sexual harassment.
Oh, God.
And then everybody starts suing each other.
Your boy Pat says, what about Dirty Hippie Panda?
Oh, yeah.
Sanguine, thank you. He works for Vice. He has to have been broken. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, it's like when I was reading that, I was thinking, he's deeply sorry for his sperm count. He doesn't understand why. And he's being confronted, intimidated, and cowering before a woman.
Is asking somebody about their sperm count sexual harassment?
Apparently, okay, no, that's not the question. The question is, would Vice consider a woman asking a man about that sexual harassment?
Oh, they wouldn't. No,
right, exactly. So never going to happen.
Now, if you asked her about her eggs, how's your flow this month? Yeah, they're not going to be.
However, if somebody, and I don't know what the laws are in the UK, but however, if somebody from this article wanted to take their bosses to court on allowing this to happen, and not only that, but encouraging it by publishing a story on it, they've got all the evidence they need right here.
Yeah, no shit.
Let's see. So after apologizing to her for his sperm count, she goes on, later he messaged me to tell me he was Googling sperm supplements and legit having a minor panic. He wasn't being sarcastic. Holy shit. Oh my God. Many of the men I interviewed for this piece wound up pretty freaked out. I really want to know how she questioned them. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall for that, which is surprising. I always thought straight white guys were pro-human extinction. Otherwise, why are so many of them also climate change deniers?
Oh my God.
I'm going to read this whole thing because I'm just fascinated now. You want to talk about like
you're getting into Star Wars territory. I'm just telling you.
No, I don't think so. Not with this.
For me, yes, this is getting into Star Wars territory. Keep going. Keep going.
Quote, this new finding has put a horrible negative spin on what I regard as the main accomplishment of every one of my lackluster sexual encounters, making sure I haven't knocked up some girl I picked up on Tinder, whines my friend Mike. Now my failure to impregnate girls has been a droplet in the flood of human extinction, as if the sex wasn't already shit enough.
Oh my God. Okay, so one, this dude isn't wrapping his junk. He's picking up random bitches. Okay, yeah, never mind.
I was not aware that spineless guppies took the shape of men.
Oh, they do. They do.
Not like this. I mean, apparently, is this a hiring criteria advice? They have to like do an X-ray to make sure you have absolutely no column in your spine.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Most of the men I spoke to were pessimistic about their sperm on account of their terrible lifestyles, which makes sense. Obesity, smoking, stress, diet, and the chemicals in our plastic and pesticides have all been variously cited as to blame for the fact that modern-day man's sperm is as shaky as Jared Kushner's understanding of the Logan Act. Oh,
That is a
fuck.
random.
That is a stretch.
You're no Dennis Miller, woman. Don't do that.
Another thing that might be to blame for your defective spunk is watching too much TV. According to one 2016 study.
What?
Hold on. According to one 2016 study. Vice, you hire the best. I'm going to read it as it is written. According to one 2016 study, Copenhagen University study, sitting in front of the TV for over 5 hours a day was associated with lower sperm counts. Study Copenhagen University study.
Never. Yeah.
Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done. Amazingly enough, strangely enough, it doesn't go into much depth. This article.
I want to know how much or what TV they were watching. If the kind of content had any effect on their nuts.
Okay, quote, as someone who is not obese, doesn't smoke, and doesn't really watch TV, I see myself as an example of the solution, not the cause of the problem. Lies my boyfriend Charlie sweetly.
That's not all he lies to you about, sweetie.
Yeah, no shit. In parentheses, he loves reality TV. Quote, hopefully other men will be as enlightened as me in the future, and together we can ward off this looming threat, unquote. If all of this is too much for you, why not do as my colleague Joel does and live in sour, cloudy disbelief? Quote, sperm is hardly a dwindling fucking resource, he blusters. There is so much sperm in the world at any time. Think how much sperm is in the office right now, and you only need one sperm to make a baby. Besides, he goes on, surely they're working on synthetic sperm by now. If there aren't already plans to cut men out of the reproductive cycle, that's a real oversight. I couldn't agree with you more, she says.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What a little cucky bitch.
I don't think I've ever... Now, again, assuming that these quotes are real, assuming this is not some kind of Poe, I don't think I have ever read in such quick succession examples of such weenie men. Ever.
Those men don't even have sperm.
And they all work at Vice UK.
Thank you, Sanguine. No, you fucking bint. Are you British?
I think so.
No, you fucking bint. You are the one saying this is great to the writer. The men aren't cheering extinction. You bloody well are. Yeah, she is. That last line says it all.
Yeah, she's happy about it.
Got to cut men out.
And I believe, and Sanguine, feel free to correct me, but the last name he has there is Gaelic.
No, I was asking because he said bint.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, I think he comes from the UK or at least the Isles or something. I'm not sure, but that's my guess.
He's from Westeros.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, there's that root. So just for our loyal listeners, the other night I read a Root article that was similar to the Star Wars top 10 black characters deal, but it was talking about Game of Thrones and how it's one big metaphor for Wapipo. Apparently,
racist. That's how they said it.
Right, exactly. Now I haven't watched the video yet, but apparently, the Root has posted a YouTube video that is the video version of that blog post. Now I have never watched Game of Thrones. I tried starting the book way back when, but I couldn't get into it. I know I'm a mutant, but I have passed the video on to those who might have more interesting things to say. Whether they decide to do a video on it or not, we shall see. But yeah, and man, the Root. Oh, they're putting out some gold lately. Absolute gold.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was a long article. Do we want to do one more before we get to the top of the hour?
If we have a short one you can find real quick, yeah.
Okay. Okay. We'll end with this because this is some nostalgic kind of stuff. And again, this comes from staff reporter Jack Cochran. You're not going to play a video on me, are you? Okay, good. Grand Theft Auto makers sued by Psychic Readers Network over Miss Cleo doppelganger. And now, just for the sake of how long it took them to get to this, which Grand Theft Auto do you think they're talking about?
I would guess 3.
Psychic Readers Network says that games Anti-Paulette infringes on copyright for television psychic. Now that's Vice City, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, could be, yeah.
Yeah, because it was the
Hasn't Miss Cleo been dead for like a decade and a half now?
yeah, but these guys own the rights to her vision. Now, here's the thing: she was the voice of Auntie Paulette. That's the thing. She was doing a takeoff on herself essentially.
They can't, good luck.
Okay, well, here we go. Real quick. We bet Rockstar Games didn't see this coming. Beloved but deceased TV psychic Miss Cleo lives in video game form, at least according to a lawsuit filed this week by Psychic Readers Network, which is not at all happy about the alleged resurrection. This happened. You know how old Vice City is? According to the lawsuit, which was filed against Takes Two. It's Take Two, not Takes Two, isn't it? That was Take Two Interactive, not Takes Two.
I thought it was Take Two.
Yeah, because these guys say Takes Two. Anyway, Takes Two Interactive Software and Rockstar Games in federal court on Florida on Wednesday. Grand Theft Auto Vice City contains a character that's too similar to Miss Cleo for comfort. The suit takes issue with the character Auntie Paulette, which according to the lawsuit infringes on the Psychic Readers Network copyright on Miss Cleo, quote, a widely known television infomercial psychic who PRN spent in excess of $100 million promoting. The defendant's Auntie Paulette's similarities to Miss Cleo and her copyrighted attributes are of such a breadth and extraordinary nature that they can only be explained by copying, which is unsurprising given the defendants hired the actress who performed as Miss Cleo to provide voiceovers using the same accent as Miss Cleo for the infringing video game.
Yeah, I said she died a long time ago. No, that was the suit where she got sued and for being a fraud. Sorry about that, guys. Apparently she only died last year.
Yeah, 53 following a battle with cancer. Vice City's been out forever.
Yeah, that's
and it's interesting that they bring up this lawsuit so relatively shortly after she died, so she's not around to testify in opposition or anything.
Well, what the fuck are they going to do? Say that she didn't agree to it when she did the fucking voice for it?
Yeah,
she was. You know what? Maybe she was a slave.
Is there okay? And maybe there's somebody in the chat who's a lawyer and knows the stuff better than I do. Okay, I don't know off the top of my head when Vice City came out, but it was a lot. Yeah, okay. Bloodwing says Vice City was released in 2002. Okay, what is the statute of limitations on something like this? Or is because the video game is still, on that infringement kind of? I mean, well, no, I guess it's 75 years or something. I think is okay. Never mind.
Yeah, copyright is held for 75 years in most cases. Right. Nobody jumped that there's some,
but there's no way that. Well, I can't say there's no way. I'm not a lawyer, but if you've ever played Vice City and you ever watch you can go to YouTube and just watch the cutscenes. It is obviously a satire.
Yeah, they're not going to win this. No. I'm going to predict that right now.
I don't even know if we'll ever hear about the story again, but yeah. Anyway, okay. Well,
they can hold a seance.
Yeah, Zentella 6, they can hold a seance. Yeah, exactly. Parody, satire, also hiring and paying the woman who played the character to do the voice. Oh, God. Yeah. Anyway, I guess we're at the top of the hour, so it's YouTube time.
YouTube time, yay!
Now, have you done anything YouTube today, Monkey?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. All right.
Since we talked last, yes. I have released 2 videos.
Oh, okay.
During the stream.
Not during the stream.
During the stream.
Last night, right as we were ending, I released the cut footage of the infamous Star Wars list that I mentioned just a few minutes ago.
Yes, you did.
We've been asked about that a lot, so I finally got that cut into a video, made my own little Star Wars opening for it, and put that out last night. And then today, the reason I released one while we were in the stream is because I've been meaning to get that video out for more than a month. And back when my wife was on vacation, I got me and Tailed Feature had talked, and we were going to do a collaboration, and I'd picked the subject of Alex Jones, and I still want to do an Alex Jones video, but it's not a pressing video, and it's one that I wanted a lot more time to delve into. But Tailed made a song for it, and he made a song. There's a video. Hack Job helped him with graphics on it, and it's a really good song. It's really funny, as most of Tailed songs are. And I say most because I can't say I've seen them all. Everyone I've seen is fucking hilarious. If you're not subscribed to Tailed Feature, go check him out. But I wanted to get this out, and I told him I was going to try to get it out before the stream today, and I didn't quite make it. But what this video is his song about Alex Jones, and it's fucking funny as hell. So make sure you check it out.
And just for that, I'm going to put a link to Tailed's channel in the description. So if you guys aren't already subscribed to Tailed, all you have to do is just refresh your browser real quick, and it will be there for you to go straight to.
And when you see Tailed, make sure you tell him, fucking moo.
Fucking moo. Okay, let me go back to my own stream now so I can watch chat.
Yay.
Yay. I seen chat. I did not do anything for video today because...
you lazy bitch.
Well, I mean, I was actually kind of surprised with myself that I put as much work in yesterday to get that gem dropping one out.
Right.
Because I had thought I would put that off until the weekend, but as soon as I started working on it, I just got the bug and I just like went right through it. I have a script written for my next video. It will be the first, well, I guess maybe not the first, but the first official video I'll be doing on something from Splinter, our refurbished Fusion.
Yes.
It is not the one I mentioned the other day. I mentioned one the other day where they had interviewed a bunch of people who had been deported. I still may do that one down the line. I have a script written for it, but as I said the other night, it seems a little superfluous to other stuff I've already done in the recent past. This one is a completely different subject that infuriates the hell out of me when I listen to it because it just insults my intelligence left, right, and center. So I'll probably be working on that over the weekend and maybe have it out Sunday or Monday.
Sweet. Right.
Elsewise than that, just a programming note, a little early to announce this, but it was already arranged. Next Thursday will be my night again to host the stream. Thursday is our guest night. And well, it was kind of funny. I hadn't even thought about what guest I might have or try to invite on. But next Thursday, Biggest Mikey will be our guest.
Yay.
Granted, everything lines up. Now, I forget, Monkey, have you been on his show?
No.
Okay, but SDA has.
Yes, she was on there yesterday, I think. That one went live.
Yeah, so, you know, anyone who'd have SDA on their channel or on their show is more than welcome to come on to our stream as far as I'm concerned. Unless it's Angry MGTOW. Yeah, sorry, AM, just not happening.
Yeah, no.
No.
Well, the funny thing about that is, before I went to bed this morning, I didn't get to bed until like 9 o'clock this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, you know what? For my next turn, I'm going to invite Biggest Mikey. And then I wake up to read that goddamn tweet and exchange between you two. I'm like,
I know, I beat you to it. He was like, what's the guy got to do to get on the stream? I'm like, well, you want on? I was contemplating saying something like, well, how many dicks are you willing to suck? But yeah, I thought it was a little early in the morning. I thought, that's a little too blue. I'll just, yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, I look forward to that next Thursday. Other than that, is there any other YouTube drama llama? Also, she's not here for it right now, but of course, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time will be the, as far as I understand, is it the first episode of Baywatch?
Premiere Baywatch episode.
The premiere Baywatch episode. So SDA and Mara Jane will be book reviewing, I think it is. Or something. I don't want to tell stories out of school because I'm not quite remembering all the details. But as soon as, I don't think I have the channel link for that yet. Do you have that, Monkey?
I am subscribed. Let me pull that up here.
Okay, can you tweet that out? And I will also add that to the video's description for anybody who wants to go and subscribe to that, so you can see Mara and SDA when they do their shows, Baywatch, which the name of which came from a suggestion from one of our viewers. I don't remember which one, but I'm sure SDA remembers.
That's the main channel for it. Tomorrow, I believe they're going to be on SDA's channel, though.
Oh, they are.
Last I heard.
Oh, was she saying she was going to like upload until they get to 1,000 subscribers and live stream on that channel? She's going to just start uploading the streams to that channel. I think it was.
Yeah. So they'll be bouncing back and forth between each other's channels until they're able to run that one separate.
Okay, I will put a link to that new channel in the description as well, so you can go subscribe to it, so that for when they do go live with live streams and or the archive ones, they'll put up there in the meantime.
Yep.
Was there any YouTube drama today?
That
we know of.
None that I've paid attention to. Let me put it that way.
Okay. Chat, if anything comes to mind as far as YouTube drama, put a note into the chat. Trat. Hey, Trat. Put a note into the chat, and we'll take a look. Silent Minority says he came up with the name, or she came up with the name. I'll assume he, because the portrait is a male, but that's just me sort of assuming your gender. Okay, well then, Monkey.
Sir.
You and I are free to have whatever deep topic we want. So let's talk movies!
Yay, movies.
Oh boy. Okay, what movie shall we talk about? Or what kind of movie shall we talk about? Well,
actually, we should talk about what we talked about before the stream.
Sure.
Scribe and I have been talking about doing movie reviews or something with movies for so long. And you're going to try to find... Which movie did we agree on?
So Monkey had come across at Walmart a 5-pack DVD collection, which included... two of my favorite movies from when I was a kid, and Monkey, I think, also put some high.
Oh yeah, there. Loved them.
Tango and Cash and The Last Boy Scout. The Last Boy Scout being one of the most underrated action comedies of the 90s. I mean, It is, I would dare say, it is up there, if not equal to, in some ways, Lethal Weapon. Which is interesting because both Lethal Weapon and The Last Boy Scout were written by the same guy. So
I think Lethal Weapon is a little more well-told story, because I do have problems with The Last Boy Scout, and we can cover that. But sure. There are parts of it where there are some you got to make some leaps to get to where they went to, and that's fine. That happens in action movies, especially in the first of a series, which I was really hoping this would have been.
Yeah, because the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans was just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really surprising, because you would not think that those two, I mean, from two completely different worlds of entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, now Bruce Willis had done comedy before. He did Moonlighting, but it was sort of like a dry comedy. But Damon Wayans was like in Living Color and all that stuff too. And in this, he actually plays kind of the straight man in a lot of ways, which is weird.
And there's Halle Berry as a stripper in this.
I know.
Which
this is
pre oh god, what was the movie where she shows her tits?
That was the Swordfish,
which another excellent movie, but this was before that, so it was like seeing her dressed like that was like, damn.
Yeah, and but the pre Catwoman days.
But anyway, yeah, Men on Film. I rate
Men on Film. Yeah.
Well played for those of you who get the reference.
Yes.
Anyway, we've been talking for a while about doing that. So he's gonna try to track that down, and the first one we're gonna review is Tango and Cash, right?
Yes. So if I can find the 5-pack, that same one at my local Walmart, will be set to go. If I can't, what?
I just thought of it. We should title this "Movies You Should Have Watched."
Oh, okay. Sounds fine to me.
Anyhow,
movies you should have watched. Yeah. So if I can track down the 5-pack, I'll do that. If I can't, I will somehow come up with a copy of Tango and Cash by itself, and we'll work on that, and then we'll go to The Last Boy Scout at some point later on. I loved both of those movies. Just I can recall individual scenes, individual interactions. They're so clear in my head because I just loved those movies when I was a kid.
Yeah, I used to watch The Last Boy Scout all the time. I told you before the stream, I don't even remember much of Tango and Cash, except that I liked it.
Yeah.
And that was really hard to do because this was one of the first movies Stallone played where it wasn't all about him being the big brutish guy.
I know. And so for those of you that don't know, Tango and Cash stars Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. And in some ways they are playing parodies of their own action sort of tropes, and even make in jokes to themselves about it, because even Stallone at one point makes a reference to Rambo being a pussy.
Yes.
And whereas Stallone is usually the ripped jeans, rough looking guy, in this one he dresses like a stockbroker, but he's the action guy. And Kurt Russell, well, he pretty much looks like Jack from Big Trouble in Little China again, more or less.
He really does, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, they both play off each other. Yeah, and again, their chemistry is something. It's like two actors you never would have thought A, would be in a movie together, and B, would have such really funny chemistry together.
Yeah, and it is another movie I can see. It is very much, that one to me is more like the original Lethal Weapon, and we'll get into this when we cover it all. But
sure,
because the original Lethal Weapon was not as funny as the second one. In the second one, they took it more like a Hollywood movie, where the first one was it was kind of gritty.
Yeah.
And that's how Tango and Cash was. If they would have made a second one, it would have been fucking awesome. And yes, Terry Hatcher was in Tango and Cash.
Yes, Tango and Cash. Yeah, the love interest of Cash was Terry Hatcher, a young Terry Hatcher playing Sylvester Stallone's stripper sister. It's all about the strippers.
Strippers, yeah.
And the other thing too, so Shane Black, who wrote Lethal Weapon and also wrote Last Boy Scout. I don't know if he directed Last Boy Scout, but anyway, he, if you don't know, if you've ever seen Predator, on the helicopter in the beginning of the movie, the guy that tells the joke about his girlfriend and having a little pussy and all that, that's Shane Black. He's also written a whole bunch of movies. He directed and wrote Iron Man 3. He is writing and I believe also directing the upcoming Predator movie. But the movie that he did a couple of years ago, a few years ago now, that again is another sort of like, never would have thought of putting those two guys together as a team movie, was called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. And it is amazing. If you've never seen it, I cannot more highly recommend you go out and find Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and watch it. It is hilarious. It's smartly done. And the acting and the chemistry between all the characters is just incredible. It really reminded me of Last Boy Scout and Lethal Weapon. I mean, when Shane Black focuses on buddy movies in some fashion, he almost always hits it out of the park. So yeah, if you can find Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, if you haven't already seen it, and I swear to God, it's probably the best thing I've seen Val Kilmer do in 20 years.
Does that include the time frame of Tombstone? Because I might not be able to talk to you.
Okay, Tombstone surpasses everything in Val Kilmer's repertoire. No, okay, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. No. I forget when. Top
Secret. You can have Top Gun.
Yeah.
You can't have my Tombstone.
Okay, you're right. No, you're right. Yeah, no. See, but here's the thing, though. I think you being such a fan of Val Kilmer in that role, I think you'll be really impressed with how he does in this role, because it is comedy. It's kind of a dry, sarcastic comedy. Yeah. So anyway, if that's one that I own a copy of that. So if you can find a copy of that at some point and watch it, then we can talk about it, because I think you'd really like
check it out.
It's really good. Let's see what else we got going on here. Irate Prostate, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, great narration. Yes, it's one of the few movies where the narration is essential to the film, and Robert Downey Jr. does it perfectly. Let's see. Todd Packer, what about the movie The Salton Sea? I liked The Salton Sea. That's a tough movie to get into because it's relatively quiet and slow and kind of weird and dark. Val Kilmer does a really great job. I'm not going to deny that. It doesn't pop for me. His performance doesn't pop as much for me as it does in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He was also decent in Wonderland, a movie that most people haven't seen because it's actually not that good, but his performance is pretty good. He plays John Holmes, the porn star, in a really, yeah, you wouldn't have imagined him playing that role, but he did a pretty good job.
What's the movie he played the science geek?
Real Genius.
Real Genius, yes, that was a fucking awesome movie too.
Real Genius was amazing. I love that movie. I dare say I almost like it better than Weird Science.
Yeah,
because it had more scope.
Straighter.
It had a bit more scope too.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know, especially the end where it's like the giant Jiffy Pop thing goes off.
Yes.
It's like, oh man. Yeah, the guy who runs in and it's like God, the laser comes down. Let's see.
Yeah, I miss 80s movies, god damn it.
Oh, there was just I don't know what it was. It's like you have these eras. It always seems like like the first half of the decade has really good movies and then it goes to shit. Like early 80s movies for the most part. Now there are exceptions, like Terminator. Terminator 2 was 92 or 93. Yeah. And the Batman movie was 89. But yeah, 80s movies like The Explorers, like Goonies, like I could go on forever. Solar Babies, for God's sakes.
They just had more fun with it, and while it was still about a profit. It wasn't about we have to make $200 billion with this movie. I fucking hate that it's ruined movies.
Yeah, and it's movies where they were willing to take a risk. And not like, oh, we're just going to try to placate a particular audience or try to be everything to all people or whatever. They said, here, Stand By Me. Do you think Stand By Me would be made today?
Oh, probably not. No.
Yeah, getting kids like that and the lines they had to say and the situations they were in and everything else. I mean, I understand that Stranger Things has sort of brought back the possibility of things like that. But even then, I mean, a standalone, serious drama movie, not supernatural, no, just like a straight movie like that. The
only way that might still carry weight today is because it was Stephen King. I think that might help it, but it would be a minor movie that most of us never even heard was made.
Yeah, probably. I mean, and that was such a big thing at the time because it was just like, and if you've never seen Stand By Me, I recommend seeing it because it's one of those rare movies where you get a bunch of child actors together and they just nail it. I mean, it's a great story. It's based on it. Sorry, go ahead.
I really didn't like River Phoenix in it. Everyone else I thought did really well. He seemed a little over the top to me, but you're right. For kids, excellent movie.
Oh, speaking of River Phoenix, did you ever see Mosquito Coast with Harrison Ford?
A long time ago.
Oh man, that movie still freaks me out. If you ever want to see a movie that's like halfway between Lord of the Flies and watching a cult being born, find Mosquito Coast. And also Harrison Ford being the creepiest, most intense I've ever seen him. It's one of those rare movies where you take somebody who you sort of think of in a particular way. Harrison Ford would be sort of like this gruff, Han Solo or Deckard kind of guy, Indiana Jones, and making him practically an insane cult leader. And I love movies like that where you take an actor and you sort of set them against type in a way. Mm-hmm. Like Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo. One of his best performances ever.
Donald the Repentless, let me tell you, you will not get hate from us for that. He said, I'll probably get some hate for this, but I love UHF. UHF was fucking awesome.
Amazing. And it's a great movie. It's again something that probably would not be allowed to be made today.
No, because it wasn't quite parody, but it was silly comedy.
Yeah, and I got to say, there was always, when I was a kid, I was like, oh God, I wish Weird Al would make another movie. I don't think he should ever make another movie because you can't top that. You could watch that forever. That movie could be good from now until the end of time.
That movie was great.
Yeah.
We used to have because I used to record movies, a VHS that had UHF followed by Crazy People, and I used to just be able to throw that in and just watch.
Yeah.
Crazy People.
Yeah. UHF was a series of human cartoons, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect the way it is. It sets up its little world. It's the simplest scene, but the first time that he drives up to the TV station in his tiny little car, it's just a still shot. It's just a locked shot on this weird looking out in the middle of nowhere TV station, and his tiny little sedan pulls up like a clown car, and he gets out and just puts his hands on his hips and is like, "Yeah, I own this now." It's just, oh god, yeah, that movie's awesome.
Todd Packer in chat just mentioned the movie Used Cars. Have you ever seen that?
Long time ago.
I haven't thought about that since I was very young, but as I remember, Kurt Russell,
yes,
played a used car salesman, and they had an ad where they said they had like a mile of cars, and they ended up getting sued for false advertising.
Yeah,
it was a great movie. One of those movies, again, can't be made today because there were a lot of titties in it.
Yeah,
there's no titties in movies anymore unless it's artistic. I don't want artistic titties. I want dirty titties.
Or it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
You get a horror movie. That reminds me. When I was a kid, one of the parts of Tango and Cash that I'd always like rewind and replay or freeze frame.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one part where there's like a car chase inside of a parking garage, and the action interrupts a couple in the back of their car. And they pop up real quick, and the woman is bare chested, and then it was I was like, oh, and I was a little kid, I was like, oh my god, boobies.
Yes. One of the reasons I loved Revenge of the Nerds. The
Jesse, sorry, go ahead.
The sorority house scene.
Oh yeah. Oh, or Animal House when they're up on the ladder and spying. Oh god, and
Animal House is one of those movies that I like until the ending. They just the end was like a Mel Brooks movie. It's like fuck it, we got to end this somehow.
Right. Yeah, that might have been the weakest part, but it's memorable, but it might have been the weakest part.
Yeah.
Jesse just says Clue. Clue was also a perfect movie.
Clue is one of my favorite all-time movies. Especially with the different endings.
Mm-hmm.
That was a novel idea that they tried. I think they should have just, showed it in the way that they eventually released the movie on VHS and then DVD, where it shows all of the endings.
Yes.
It wasn't a novel idea to show it that way.
And it was also, sorry, go ahead.
It was just so well acted by everybody. And it's another one of those movies where there's no reason for them to take it serious, but they took it serious enough to fucking nail it.
Right. And that was the trick. You took all of these comedic actors, but you made them play their parts straight.
Yes.
Even when they were being hysterical, they weren't trying to be funny, but the situation and the interactions made it hilarious. And again, this is one of the things that movies don't do enough of lately. You have to, and we talk about this with Airplane. You took actors like Lloyd Bridges and Peter Graves, these guys who were always sort of like relatively dramatic actors, and you put them in completely ludicrous situations, but you have them play it straight. And that kind of comedy, and that's sort of like the fundamental of comedy. You defy an expectation, and that's what makes it funny. Now I understand that a lot of actors, they have like some kind of reputation they're trying to keep or something else, and so you won't see somebody who's trying to be a serious actor do a comedy. But I swear to God, if they ever got Daniel Day-Lewis to do an Airplane type movie,
oh God, yeah,
it would be amazing. Or who's another like super duper dramatic actor? God, I don't even.
The dude who played Batman.
Ben Affleck?
No.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
He's done some comedy stuff, hasn't he?
Not that I've ever seen. I only know him from talking like this, trying to be Batman. What is this? Old men drawn. Oh, Magoon, you're such a little.
Old men droning on and on about old bad movies. Hey, Siskel and Ebert didn't have a career for nothing. That's all I got to say. And man, if you want to see one of the funniest movie reviews ever, look up Siskel and Ebert review North.
That was funny as shit.
North is I've seen that movie. I think I saw it after the review, but it is so awesome. It is such a great review.
Hi, Poppy. Tell the girls I say hi.
Oh, hi, Pop Tart. Kids movies in the 80s couldn't be made today. I missed that because the adults could stand watching with their kids back then. Yeah, and that was the other thing about movies. Like, okay, and this is always the go-to one, but Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters got funnier the older I got because the situations on their face were cartoonish and funny for kids mostly.
Yeah.
But the actual dialogue between the characters and the relationships became more understood to me as I got older, and I appreciated the movie in different ways more than I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, as a kid, I did not realize that Sigourney Weaver ended up fucking Darth Helmet.
Yes. I didn't get that either when I was a kid. I didn't understand that dynamic because it was off screen. It was just sort of implied, you know?
Yeah, and they did it with, Keymaster. Yeah, so it was very well done. And
Yeah.
that's for all the people who hate the newest Ghostbusters, that's part of the problem, is that they were just so in your face with it. There's no wit.
There's no wit, there's no nuance or subtlety. Or the other thing is allowing for the possibility that your audience isn't a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, not leading them around by the nose on every single little thing to say, like nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Did you know that they just had sex? It just, that's one of the things that I really, makes me despair for movies these days, is because they're so niche. I mean, there are movies that have transcended that. The Lego Movie is one of them.
I'm sorry. Adam R. asks, have you guys seen, and I'm going to name the movie because I have seen it. We actually saw it at the theater. Have you guys seen the movie with Matthew Broderick where he's hanging out with chimps who use VR to learn to fly?
Oh, Project X.
Project X. Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually one of the last movies I saw with my mom in the theater.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a excellent movie. It's fucking heartbreaking because
yes,
what they're doing to the chimps, but really good movie actually.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick doing I'd almost say that you have to have that kind of thing as a double feature with War Games to see Matthew Broderick doing quasi drama.
Oh yeah.
That's because I always thought that those two movies sort of were like spiritual cousins to each other because of the actor and sort of the subject matter. It's kind of sci-fi, secret government project kind of stuff. Yeah, Project X. I like that one. I haven't seen it in a long time.
No, neither have I. I haven't seen it in a really long time.
But yeah, movies that kids can enjoy and adults can appreciate. Movies that take risks, and movies that aren't trying to play it. That just play it safe. I cannot say enough, and I probably am saying too much already, how much I miss the sort of the sensibilities in film of the late 70s and early 80s. And you saw bits and pieces of it in the early 90s, but the last like 15 years or so, for the most part. Oh, Zentella 6 brings up Apt Pupil. Excellent film. Now, again, and that is a movie, that's one of those oddballs that took a very serious subject, had a very good young actor. I mean, I don't think he was a child at that point, Brad Renfro. And I think it was the first time that I'd ever seen Ian McKellen, or at least noticed him. And he did an amazing job. It was such a great movie. But that is a movie that probably today would not be made. And that was the early 90s. So have you ever seen Apt Pupil?
I have not.
Again, it's based on a Stephen King story. So I think the Stephen King name is what greases the wheels with some of these really good, niche, probably wouldn't have been made otherwise movies. Apt Pupil, Ian McKellen, Brad Renfro, who has killed himself at this point. He's actually dead. No, is he dead? Oh, wait a sec. Hold on a second. I know either he got arrested for something or he killed himself. Hold on.
That's a big jump.
It is a big jump. Yes. No. He died. Yeah. So I believe he killed himself. Yeah. Heroin overdose. Yeah.
I have not seen that, but I do remember reading the description of it. I remember when that came out. Yeah. It's one of those movies where it doesn't have a lot of gore. It's doesn't have a lot of action. It's like one long Spider-Man Vulture car ride. It's really good. If you can get your hands on that one, definitely see that one. Anyway, we have babbled on about movies for better part of half an hour. It is now the bottom of the hour. Chat, it is your time to shine. Trat.
If you have any questions for us or any movies that you want us to give opinions on or anything else, post them to the chat now. If it's a question, by all means, put a few question marks after it so we can see it. All You Need says, what did you think of Monty Python's The Search for the Holy Grail?
It's still funny in a lot of ways. It's very dated at this point.
Yeah.
But it's the Monty Python guys. They're
Yeah.
funny. They're Monty Python. They are funny in what they say, but they are very good at expressing themselves. That's where so much of their humor comes from.
Yeah, Holy Grail is a classic. The only thing I'll say is that I have heard the lines and the jokes from that thing so many times over my lifetime that I've kind of become a nerd to a lot of it. It doesn't detract from the fact the movie's so good, but it also lessens the impact to me now. I mean, in some ways, I wish I'd never seen any of the Monty Python movies so I could see them fresh. But yeah, that's the only thing I'll say about it, just because I've seen them so many times. Quill says, any thoughts on Kraut and Teague getting Rage After Storm booted from her editor position?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One, he didn't. She was already apparently not working there. And two, Kraut brought this up, and I didn't even pay attention at the time. When this all blew up, it was actually a month after it had all happened. Some people who had a problem with Kraut brought it up, and he had removed his tweet to the guy immediately. Yeah, you can't undo the damage, but it's not like he left it there and waited until there was outrage to pull it back. He admits it was a dick move. He shouldn't have done it, and absolutely he shouldn't have. And that's why you should probably always think before you act. But it was a dick move, but he didn't cost Rage her job, even though he thought he was. And there's really not much else to say about it. It was a shitty thing to do.
Straight Sith Mail, I'm so sorry. Sorry I'm late. It's been a bad day. My ma has cancer and her dog died today. Poor dog was riddled with cancer, had nothing to do with each other. Just shitty, but she was 18 years old. I'm sorry, Sith.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Sith.
I hope... I'm sorry about your puppy. I hope mom does okay. I hope treatment helps. That's awful. Let's see. Shady Grin says, who is responsible for the upticks and dislikes on your streams lately? Ranting Monkey is God. All who disagree must be punished.
There are so many candidates, and that's probably all my fault.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I piss off some people I piss off some highly fanatical groups, and it's not on purpose. But I was going through trying to, if you run a YouTube channel and you get any kind of comments at all, you will build up spam. And yes. Even though I have all of my filters set to just let everything through, I get a ton of it. So I was going through it today, and there's this one guy who went through the vegan gains video. And left the same brick of text on every goddamn comment.
Oh, Jesus.
So, I mean, these are fanatical people, and they get all butthurt. It could be the Joy fans, because they're similar. There was a guy who, again, he at least varied his, but every goddamn line that somebody else had written, he commented to.
I think we forgot to say at the top of the stream, which is rare for us, but Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, of course. And if you have not already, in relation to the last question, please hit that like button. Apparently, we are at 52 and 23 on my current count, as far as I can see. We have 107 people in the chat. So, hey, guys, just for the sake of counteracting the negativity in the room.
Aether Toast, I think is how I said it, says, bullshit monkey, you piss off a lot on purpose. I really don't. I just speak my mind, and it tends to piss people off.
Yeah, you can't please all the people all the time.
I do go out of my way to piss off, but like take the Sargon video. It wasn't to piss off his rabid fucking fanboys. It was just to point out that if you want to say you believe in free speech, you can't then turn around and report people for speech. I have a big problem with that, and free speech means that much to me. I've seen Sargon say other shit I disagree with. Never thought to bring it up because it didn't fucking matter to me. This one did. It wasn't to piss off his fans. I knew it would, but it wasn't to do that. Well, at least 78 people are engaging.
That's true. That's true. Even if you don't like the stream, hey, hitting the button at least lets us know that you're watching, I suppose.
Rotten Corpse asks, can you give a good reason to create a Twitter?
Keeping up with drama
Or
news.
If you want to make a YouTube channel that does anything outside of like a toy channel or a makeup channel, even a makeup channel you probably do, you're going to want Twitter just for networking and being able to spread the word.
The other thing too, just to keep, and this is one of the very useful things about Twitter, especially these days, when news happens, breaking news, stories that happen. I mean, you'll probably see it first through Twitter than you will through television or anything else, because when something happens in Europe or North Korea launches a missile or something happens at the White House, you're going to see it if you've already subscribed to CNN or the AP or anything else first and foremost.
And it cannot be said enough that you really should subscribe to Donald Trump.
Oh God,
you should follow Donald Trump.
Let's see.
Somebody asked this. Are we now Lords of the Night Army? Sure, you can be Lords of the Night Army. Just don't follow blindly. If I say something stupid, fucking tell me I said something stupid.
No, just you're the Army of the Night.
There you go.
You're the Lords of the Night. You're the Army of the Night. That makes it. That sounds a bit more, I think, concise. The Army of the Night. Trat.
Zentella 6 says, Blazing Saddles made today or not? Absolutely
no. No way.
No fucking way.
No.
I still love the little old lady. Sorry about the nigger comments.
See, now here's the thing. The only way that movie could be made, but it would be the most independent, out of Hollywood production.
Yeah.
And the budget would be like nothing, but like something like Black Dynamite. If you haven't seen Black Dynamite, little long, but no first cynic, not the Army of Darkness trademark. That's somebody else's. Army of the Night. Just
Army of the Night.
Don't want to run into, I don't want Bruce Campbell coming to my house and saying like, hey, that's ours. Like, okay. But yeah, Black Dynamite, a takeoff on blaxploitation movies, hilarious. About half hour too long. But yeah, no, Blazing Saddles. You could get away with weird stuff, but it has to be so bargain basement, direct to video kind of stuff that you'd never seen before. You wouldn't have like a Mel Brooks premiere movie like that again anytime in the near future, I don't think.
I will disagree with you on that one, based only on Mel Brooks's name. If he was directly involved, again, it would still have to be third party.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be one of the major studios.
Yeah,
and the only way they would be involved is in a hands-off. Oh, we're gonna give them a little money, but it's not really us. But
yeah, the super weird stuff. I think the and you bring up a third one, but I was going to say the biggest lubricants, so to speak, of getting a weird movie made is either Stephen King or Terry Gilliam when he actually can get one made, and Mel Brooks. But Mel Brooks, I'd be surprised if he's doing anything anymore. Thank you, James Koch. Just commenting to say that I appreciate the stream you did about BDSM. It was very educational. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I've been getting a lot of good feedback from that. Just full disclosure, that whole project wasn't really my idea. Ani, who you see in the stream, she and the other people in there actually invited me to come in on it because they knew about my other channel, and I mentioned this before, and Laura Bones knew about my my interest, so to speak. I only hosted it because at that time, and I could be still the case, I had the biggest channel subscription viewership that would get it out there, and of course, they were completely allowed to mirror it or whatever else they wanted to do with it. But yeah, we've been getting a lot of feedback on that, people appreciating all the different perspectives. So hey, thank you. And thank you for the donation again. Was there an ad you wanted me to do for you? I'll probably have to get to it in tomorrow night's stream. I'm unable to do any ads tonight because of we're down a man, but do let me know and I'll watch the chat. Let's see what else we have here. Ranting Monkey. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that was the one I was going to read.
Okay, I hate to ask another World of Warcraft question at risk of annoying people, but are the new class orders separate factions from the Horde and Alliance?
I've been away so long, I don't even know what new class orders are.
Yeah. It's sort of like with the Old Republic. I've I haven't played in almost like 6 or 7 months now, and everything's changed 17 different ways, and I can't bring myself to care because they lost me. They lost me at that game.
Last night I was actually talking to a friend I used to play with. She used to be my co-tank, and we were talking about just a little bit because her mom used to play, and apparently she's gotten back into it. I tried to get back into WoW right before Legion dropped.
Okay.
And I had some fun with it, but by the time I left WoW, I probably should have left a year earlier. And the only reason I stayed was how much fun I had with the group that I was with. We had a really good guild, and we had a lot of fun together. And when I went back, most of them had already quit. And so I had fun going through the quests and stuff and seeing what they had built there. And they did some neat stuff with it, but it just wasn't as fun for me anymore. So it's still a good game. And if you're into that kind of thing, I certainly recommend it. But for me, the highlight was when I went out, and I'm just going to keep it that way.
Okay. Irate Prostate has asked this several times now. Have either of you seen Emperor of the North with Lee Marvin and Ernest Borgnine about a train?
Nope.
Nope. The title sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't believe I've ever seen it. Or if I have, it's a long time ago. Oh, thank you, Bloodwayne, for posting my second channel. Yeah, I have not put a video up on the Non-Author Dark channel in quite a while now. I ran out of things to say because I kind of covered everything that I could do verbally. There's a certain point at which it's like, well, what else do I do with a channel where I've kind of laid out my perspective on this subject, short of like demonstration videos, which I have no talent for or ability to film, and couldn't put up on YouTube mostly probably anyway because of the subject matter. Yeah, I'm not going to, I'm sure at some point I'll post something there. I can't post the stream itself because the channel's not big enough to hold or to allow for longer than 15-minute videos that I'm aware of. It has to be 1,000, I think. But yeah, so thank you, Bloodwing. Anyway, Scribe has another channel. Yes, Cody, I have another channel called Non-Author Dark, and it specifically holds little videos regarding topics involved with BDSM and stuff like that. I keep it on a separate channel because it has nothing to do with my main stuff. Let's see what else. What else we have? Shady Grin says, Scribe, who would you want to helm a Cthulhu movie, and would you want them to adapt it to the modern era or keep it in its original era? Original era, Guillermo del Toro, or
Michael Bay.
Oh, fuck no. Darren Aronofsky or Guillermo del Toro. I think both of those guys would get it. Now, their movie of it would not be successful. This is the problem. If they were to do it, I'm pretty sure that they would do it in a spirit commensurate to Lovecraft style. And Lovecraft style, except for a couple of his stories, is exceedingly hard to translate to film because you're talking about abstract concepts. Most of the stories are told in first person. They deal more with like personal apocalypse or the exchange of letters between people and things like that. So yeah, if it were to be made, they'd have to make it with the expectation they're going to make no money on it. It's going to turn into a cult movie, no pun intended. And but yeah, those are the two guys that I would trust to do that kind of movie.
We were asked by Necroman what our ancestry is. You're Chinese, right?
Yes, I'm actually a Asian gay skinhead. And for those of you that don't know, there's stories that back that up. I won't tell them now, but yeah, maybe a charity stream sometime.
He's not really, though, so let's get that out there.
As far as I know, I don't have a videotape of my birth or conception, so
yeah, maybe you were adopted.
Yeah.
I am like 3/4 Irish and 1/4 Native American, Indian. So I'm Indian, so I can say that, bitches.
Irate Prostate Gasian.
Nice.
Yeah, more or less.
The only way you would know I have any Indian in me at all is if you saw my mother. If you look at me, I look like your typical white boy.
Quill says, Ranting Monkey Scribelight, is there a comic book character you really like / respect? I found a respect for Jenny Cesar from the Punisher Max Widowmaker. Yeah, Jenny Cesar, that is one hardcore character. If you're talking about like supporting characters and not main ones, because I'd say Punisher, obviously. God, character I respect.
While you're thinking of that, Bloodwing
Yeah.
said, Scribe, did you see I made Mikey tap out on the mean muggin on the thread you announced where he was a guest? If you guys haven't seen that, go to Twitter, look up Bloodwing and look at his face in response to Mikey's. That was fucking excellent.
I'm going to do a response as well. I meant to do that earlier today, but I got all like tired and took a nap and everything. But wait for it on Twitter. There'll be my entry into that soon enough. I'm still thinking about the comp. I'm still thinking about the comic question.
Me, it was always Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And this is, you know what? This is in a weird way going to tie into the Sargon thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many times in Peter's life, whether as Peter or as Spider-Man, where he could have done the wrong thing.
Yes.
Where he could have taken the easy way out, where he could have killed somebody who fucking deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't because his principles. Even when Venom actually went and threatened Mary Jane, who didn't even know it was a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Peter didn't kill him. He just took care of his ass.
Yeah.
There's so many that for me, he was such a unfortunately virtuous character.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked Peter Parker.
I just think you brought up Spider-Man. I'm sure there's a dozen characters I could name, but the one that just came to mind, and sort of on a similar bent on standing on principle, Kraven the Hunter. Over the course of the storyline, Kraven's Last Hunt, or The Last Hunt, whichever it was, it's tragic, and I would be amazed if they actually did a storyline like that today, given how dark it was. But that whole story arc and its conclusion, and I won't say anything in case you want to look it up or not spoil it yourself. That is a villain standing on principle, which it's a twisted and crazy principle,
mm-hmm.
but it was principle, and that I really appreciate. Let's see what else we got. There was something somebody said earlier that I missed.
I'm sure.
Is the failure to this is from FD Swayze. Is the failure to repeal Obamacare going to affect SDA having the size of her massive hands reduced medically?
She's not here. We can't joke about her massive hands.
Okay, fine.
As big as they are, we should leave them alone.
All right.
Yeah, that'll probably fuck with her pretty bit. No, she's a rich kid. She'll be fine.
Yeah, she's from Connecticut. Everybody's rich in Connecticut.
Yeah, they are. You got to be.
Yeah.
You know how much it costs to stay warm?
I know, right? Jeez.
The favorite girlfriend of Spider-Man, Mary Jane. Come on.
Yeah.
Although the death of Gwen Stacy is the first time in a comic where I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, and a lot of people have cited that as sort of like a turning point in comics in general, where you had something that overtly final happen to a character right in the pages.
It was so tragic.
Exactly. It was tragic. It wasn't like, Bucky getting caught on the missile and it blows up. This was like she dies at the hands of the hero. It's just like, fuck.
And she was going to die either way.
Right. Exactly.
But
right.
The web reaches her and
yeah.
And see, that's another a great issue where we're talking about how unfortunately virtuous Peter was.
Mm-hmm.
Is he really wanted to kill the Green Goblin after that?
Yes, he did. Oh yeah, he did.
And he still didn't.
No.
He still didn't. Do you think Spider-Man or the Goblin killed Gwen? The Goblin killed her. She was dying either way. Spider-Man tried to save her, and if he hadn't have caught her, it wouldn't have snapped all of her bones. She'd have hit she was dead either way. Now a really good question is whether Spider-Man killed the Goblin or the Goblin did. I still say the Goblin did.
Well,
Peter jumped because he knew what was going to happen there.
Well, he had nowhere to go. He had to jump out of the way because it was spider sense, and he effectively he was literally hoisted on his own petard.
Yes. FD Swayze says no. You have to see the panel or look at the panels. Spider-Man trying to save her snapped her neck. She was going to die anyway.
Yeah, either she was going to hit the ground or he was going to do that. There was no two ways about it.
There was no other choice there.
Yeah.
I've always loved Deadpool and Spider-Man because to me the entire Marvel universe consistently shits on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They deal with it in their own way. Both are believable. Yeah, it's true. They are really. I'm not as big of a Deadpool fan, so what I know is all. I haven't read the actual comics, but Spider-Man, yeah, the universe shits on him all the time.
Yeah, he's the underdog, and that's the thing is like that's what makes the character so interesting. That even in the face of like Jonah Jameson making the world hate him and all the suspicion as unjustified as it is and everything else, and the many times that somebody showed up at the exact wrong moment and it looked like he was doing the bad thing or whatever else, he was still fighting to be the better man and take the high road, even when everything was telling him, dude, just give in once. But he couldn't, because to give in once is to throw away all the principles. And that's what made so many stories like where, when his parents got the stupid story where his parents came back and got killed. And Jesus Christ. But I mean, those situations where he did go dark and you're just like, is this going to be it? Is this going to be where he like completely just kills somebody? Especially when it came down to like Harry Osborn or there was a great and really dark storyline in Spectacular Spider-Man back in the 90s that involved Harry Osborn and Vermin. That was tragic as hell because it went into the backstory of Vermin and all this other stuff. And Sal Buscema's art was so good. And God, I miss when Spider-Man was good. Before the clone saga, it was almost like it was at a high point and it took a complete nosedive. Oh, God.
You know who else did this really well, this kind of writing where nobody gets to be happy enough, was Joss Whedon with Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
All right, legit, yeah.
I've told people this and they always laugh at me. As far as Buffy is concerned, Joss Whedon is a modern day Shakespeare, because if you read Shakespeare, nobody gets to be happy. At the end, everybody gets fucked. And that's how Joss Whedon approached Buffy. And every time somebody finally gets what they want, something fucking horrible happens to them.
Right. I mean, it does get a little too predictable and old in some places, but yeah.
Yeah, but see, he did it in such a way, especially looking at, say, the first 3 seasons, where even like at the end of season 2, if you guys haven't seen it, fucking watch it, but I'm going to spoil it for you. So at the end of season 2, Angel has lost his soul and he's a complete horrible person. And in order to save the world, Buffy has to kill him with a sword, stabbing it into this statue thing that's going to suck in the whole world. Right as she's about to stab him, Willow performs a magic spell that gives him his soul back. So she actually gets to see that it's actually him, the guy she fell in love with, and she still has to kill him to save the fucking world. I'm like, that is fucked up. But that's the kind of stuff Whedon does that is just used to do. That was fucking awesome. It's very much the same if you watch Firefly. He was doing the same kind of things with those characters where they get to be a little happy, but not for very long.
And I gotta say that type of storytelling is also what makes the Shield so good. I don't talk enough about the Shield. I really should just do like a stream about the Shield sometime and just talk about how much I love that show. If you haven't seen the Shield,
I need to watch it so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I believe it's on Netflix. Like I say, it's not for everybody. Give the first couple episodes a watch, and that is a show. God, I could be wrong. I don't know if that's a show that would be allowed to be made today, given the subject matter. But man, it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
Well, that was controversial at the time.
It was, and it went on for 7 seasons, and it never stopped being good. And some of the storylines, and it was also one of the first sort of semi-main network cable shows that pushed the limits of what you could say and show on a non HBO Showtime type network, because there was bad words and there was partial nudity and such, and some really, really dark storylines. Thank you. Thank you, Tarek Rhodes. Why does the Little Mermaid wear seashells? Because she can't fit D shells. Well
played.
Thank you. That was good. Thank you for the donation as well. Guys, we're at the 2-minute warning. If you have anything last minute you'd like to say or have us talk about real quick, actually not at the 1 minute.
Real quick, SDA is in the chat. SDA, what is Baywatch about? Remind us, please.
Yes. What's the next what's the first episode about anyway? It's just book reviews or other things?
Yeah. We're pimping you out here, so
she says, "What did the mermaid wear to class? An algae bra."
Nice.
If you like the Shield, you should try to check out Sons of Anarchy. They take place technically in the same universe. They make a lot of references to Sons of Anarchy makes a lot of references to the Shield. They share a lot of actors playing different characters. Sons of Anarchy, all dependent on the season in question, varied in quality, in my opinion. The Shield was never bad.
Yes.
Never bad.
Season 1 of Sons of Anarchy was fucking awesome.
Yes.
Sons of Anarchy also has the best ending to any series I've ever watched. They ended it perfectly.
SDA says, we're going over headline stories and stuff, then a topic discussion. Wait, you're doing
She's ripping off our fucking... What? You're taking our format.
What?
If that's they like do YouTube time, I'm suing.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I'm gonna take the Miss Cleo route and sue you 15 years from now. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you so much for the stories and MSS News. To our moderators and everybody else keeping an eye on things, thank you so much for being our little Gestapo on the chat. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. SDA, even though you had to leave early, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Monkey, as always, thank you for joining me. Guys, tomorrow night we will be on Monkey's channel. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Monkey's channel at same Monkey time, same Monkey station. If you have a chance, the links in the description below is for the new Baywatch channel. That show will be happening at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night with Mara and SDA. It'll be on SDA's channel. The stream will be, but it'll be archived on the Baywatch channel afterwards. And also, if you haven't subscribed to Tailed Feature, a link to his channel is also below after you've watched Monkey's video where he does a song. And
I'll go watch the song. It's funny as hell.
Yeah, go watch the song. It's funny. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.
Bye, guys.